So, as a Sims content creator, I'm gonna let you in on a secret that only Sims content creators know about. Come here, come closer. We play The Sims. I have my own personal save file, which has families and stuff that I create and play on my own, and I made this save file a while back. There's tweets about it. It was all the way back to March when Growing Together first came out. I was playing on this save file, starting to work with everything in the game that we have right now. So I was using the laundry system, the dust system, fame system. I'm using Growing Together. There's everything that this game has to offer, all in the save file, and I'm trying to use as much as I could. And I wanted to play it like a little generation kind of things. So, I started with a couple of Sims that were married, and then I have children, and the children would grow up and have children, and so that was the plan. And of course, since Growing Together was just released, I of course started playing Instant Sequoia. I don't know what happened, but there's a real proof about this. So Kyle Carlson is an NPC sim that shows up at your house sometimes, and he shows up unannounced and he stays over. And that's a new feature in the Growing Together pack. It's the stay over, so you can have basically people staying over at your house. So of course, when Kyle stayed over with my couple of sims that I made, I was like, sure, you can stay over, whatever. At this point, I have to point out my sims, they are a couple, and they live together. They have been married through Create a Sim, so I created them and married them there. I did not have a wedding ceremony, I just had them as a married couple already in game. Moved them into San Sequoia to have them start having children. And I think at this point, when Kyle showed up, I think my two Sims were just had like maybe their first baby. But I'm gonna show these people, let's go play with them, so that I can show you what I'm talking about. And especially I want to show you their family tree, because I don't know what happened. I really don't. First thing first, we have Jack. Jack is the father of the family, and he, I think, is an author at this point. I think he has like thousands of books and he gets millions in royalties. And I believe the house we're in right now, it's announced that was originally like in San Sequoia, and I just expanded it a little bit. And Jack is just right there. And this is Kirsten, and she is the mother of the family. She's beautiful, she's super talented, she loves fitness, she, I think, is a culinary food critic. So that's her job. She is almost top of the career. And yeah, I had them together, and they had two children. So they had two children together, and the children grew up, they moved out, they're not living with them anymore. But you can see, like right now, in the little corner down below, there's two children living here. So you're like, what's happening with that? Why are there two more children that you haven't talked about? There's actually more. So let me go into, I guess, Kirsten's genealogy, and let's talk about it. This is the genealogy, and this is the easiest part to comprehend, guys, okay? They started out married, and they had two children. We have Drake, and we have Lonnie. These are the two children. But I was talking about Kyle for a reason. So when Kyle showed up, Mr. Jack right here started flirting with him autonomously. I don't know if there was a nap going on or just an autonomous flirt. I don't know. I haven't dealt with it at all. So he started flirting with him autonomously. So I was like, was playing with it. So I was like, oh my god, I could do like a little flirty little partner thing. So he got very close friends with Kyle. So Kyle moved in, and that's why the house is basically split in two. So you can see from the flooring easily, this side of the house is Kirsten's and Jack, and Kyle used to live on this side of the house. So they started a little side relationship, a little scandalous, adultery, in The Sims 4. What I didn't plan to happen is that also Kirsten started to flirt with Kyle. Of course, they never caught each other really, I don't think, maybe once. But they would start flirting with each other, and so of course I was like, Kyle is basically like staying here since he's always home. Jack is mostly at home. He's a B-lister, also a celebrity, because he writes books, so it was easy for him to flirt with Kyle. But when he was sleeping, Kyle would flirt with Kristen, so there was a lot of going on. And in the end, what happened is that with the new romance thing, I think with high school years, Kyle proposed to Jack and to Kirsten. And I was like, because of course on your side, when you have the proposal option, it says, oh, you cannot do that because you're married, so you have to leave your partner before proposing to another sim. But since it was Kyle proposing, he proposed to both of them. So of course, what did I do? I accepted the marriage proposal. So they got married. Kirsten got married to Kyle, and Jack got married to Kyle. So everybody was married to each other. It was a throuple, and I did not make it. I did not make that happen. It was the game. Okay, I just said yes. Okay, and then I eloped them. So it was actually a marriage, and it did not cancel Jack's and Kirsten's marriage. They were still married, but he was also married to Kyle, and she was also married to Kyle. I don't know. At first I thought it was MCC commands having issues with that, because maybe I changed some setting. I didn't change any settings for MCC command, and that is the only mod that I have in game that could do something like this. I don't have any other like relationship mods or love mods or wicked whims or anything like that could affect relationships in any way. So the only way this could have happened is through MCC, but I did not change any settings, and I don't think this should happen when MCC command on. And also it was through a pop-up that comes out from the game. We have Orion here, but we can see that Orion is Kyle's and Kirsten's son, the biological son. Kyle and Kirsten had a son, and that's Orion. And Orion also is married and has children. Well, we're gonna talk about him later on. But as you can see, there's another child here. Actually, there's two more under Jack's side of the family. So we're looking at Jack. We have Sylvia and we have Miley. So for Miley, I know about that. So Miley, I decided to have a science baby with Kyle, and with Jack, I wanted them to have a baby as well, because at this point, I had Orion grow up. They have all aging on, and they like just age up eventually. So when he turned into an adult, I decided that him and Kyle would move out into a different house. But before doing that, I wanted Jack to have a child with, Kyle, so they have Miley as a science baby. So that's, this is something that I decided that would happen. But then, I guess, I don't know how or when or why, Jack adopted Sylvia. Sylvia is not a biological child of anyone in this family. She's not Jack's daughter. She is not Kyle's daughter. She is not Kirsten's daughter. He adopted her, and also she is only his child. I don't know how that's possible. He's married not to Kyle anymore, and I'm gonna talk about that later when we're going to Kyle's genealogy. But Kirsten, he's still married to her. But they haven't adopted this child together. He is the only one that adopted her. Like, I don't understand how that happened. I don't know what's up with neighborhood stories that you can do that, but apparently you can. So this is this side of the family. They also have a dog, but that's just a dog that I adopted. I did that. I adopted the dog, just so you know. But if we go into Manage Word, I'm gonna show you the other households that I have, which it's gonna get worse than this. This was the easiest part. So now we're going into Orion's and Kyle's household. They're still living in San Sequoia, just a different house. And I built this one, I think. They don't have much money, so it's still a work in progress that I'm gonna go through slowly. And Orion was at university, so he studied a whole lot at university. And he just started working a big paying job, like in the last few days, I think, of me playing in this. So I decided to marry Orion with Luna Villarreal. If you don't know her, she is a sim from Windenburg, and she of course was a teen, but she grew up, and Orion, they have the same age, and they have 3 children together. They have Rylan, which just aged up into a toddler, like, I think, like, a couple days ago when I was playing. And they also have 2 new children, which are Kenny and Claire. They are twins. I know I didn't want to have twins, I just wanted to have one. But they also have Kyle. And Kyle lives here. He's like a helping hand in the house. He is, of course, Orion's father, so he's a grandfather at this point. But if we go here at the back of the house, you can see this. So at one point, while Orion and Kyle just moved there, Orion, I don't think, was even married to Luna at that point. Kyle died. It was struck by lightning, and he died, which was awful. And of course, when he died, technically he is no longer married to Jack and Kirsten. He was still married at that point. But after he died, he wasn't married any longer. So I brought him back to life, and now he lives here. But he, of course, still has a relationship with his child and his children, plural, and his grandchildren and everything. But he knows Kirsten and Jack because they make them meet up. They're not married anymore. No one is married except for Jack and Kirsten now. Kyle's genealogy, you can see there's Orion here, lovely little child, with Rylan, with Claire, and with Kenny. But we also have 2 other children. Of course, Miley, we know Miley. We have also Carly. And I was like, who the fuck is Carly? So we're gonna go to Carly's house now. Basically, I remembered that I had Kyle have a baby, try for a baby, with the maid that would come over at his house when he was living with Jack and Kirsten. So this maid would come over, and this maid actually turned out to get pregnant. And at that point, I decided to move her into an actual house so that I could play with her household. And this is where the shit goes the fuck down, because this is where I think like a major glitch happened in the game and completely fucked up, destroyed the entire save file, because this is gonna be crazy. You're not ready for this save file. And I don't think it's the mods. I just think it's neighborhood stories fucking everything up. And maybe some naps like the free love one, because we're also gonna get to that, but it's fine. So this is the maid that, Kyle had tried for a baby once, and she got pregnant, Raina, and she is living here in Strangerville in this, like, I built this, like, trailer house, and I had to expand it because she kept having children. Every time I would load back into her household, she would have another child, and I'm like, stop having children. So here is Carly. She is Kyle's daughter, with Raina. And we can go into her, genealogy tree, and you can see we have Kyle and we have Raina. And you're like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. She probably had a husband that she had children with. And we're like, yes, she did have a husband that she has children with, but that's not just it. Before I did anything with this household, she already had Dorian, and Dorian is Paolo Rocca's son. But you can see here, Paolo Rocca has another son, Jovan, who he had with Emilia. So Paolo cheated on Emilia with Raina, and they had a son together. And you're like, yeah, okay, this is already crazy, And I'm like, yes, it is. But there's more. There's Matt. And Matt is Jaden Pierce's son. And Jaden, you can see, is married to Greta, and they have a son, which is Jeffrey. So Jaden also cheated on his wife, Greta, and they had a child with Raina. Okay? Are you following? Because it's not over. So we have Rebecca here, and this is Kengo. I'm gonna talk about Kengo also later on, because you can see Kengo also is part of this. Kengo used to live in this household at one point, and he had he tried for a baby with Raina. He got the midlife crisis thing from growing together. And with the midlife crisis, there was a lot of things that the game wanted me to do for helping him out of the midlife crisis. And one of them was to divorce Raina, because they were married at that point. So I had him divorce her, move out, steal all her money, move into Evergreen Harbor, and he wanted to get married to someone new. So I got him married to someone new. So now he lives in Evergreen Harbor, and he has Jace with this sim, Pena. So they're now living in, and we're gonna move in onto them later on. So he has 2 children. He has Rebecca here with Reina. But let's go back to Dorian for a second here. So Dorian, as I said, he has a half brother. He's Joven Rocca, which is Paolo and Emilia's son. Oh, great. Let's go into Paolo's for a second. Okay, you know, Emilia, his son. Let's click on his son. Oh, who is this? Kellen Rocca? Who is this? Emilia cheated on Paolo with Darvel. Neighborhood stories? Maybe? I have no idea. They have a son together. They're not married. They're married with other people because Daryl is married to Candy, and they have Casey and Reese, which is very funny, by the way, Reese from Candy. Because if we click on Candy, okay, she has Reese and Casey, but she also has Judith, who she had with Malcolm Ember. And Malcolm is married to Morgan Ember. That's why he has the last name Ember. And you're like, oh my god, they got cheated, and you're gonna be, oh my god, they had Judith, and there's Guadalupe, who is Malcolm and Jade's daughter, I think, but Malcolm is married to Morgan, and Jade is married to Raj. And if we go to Raj, you can see Augustus and Christine, they're children, but why is everybody connected? Why is everybody? Why is every sim in this place having children? Like, what's happening? Why are they having children with other sims all the time? No one is married. They're married to each other, and they go out and find another sim to have a child with, or they split up and they get married to other sims. It's crazy, and everybody is connected. Everybody is connected. All from Dorian. I can go to Dorian, I can go here, and then I can go here, 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 then I can go, oh my god, here, and then I can go here, and I can, like, how is this person, this Augustus Rosoya, is technically related to the first Sims that we saw in the other household? That makes no sense. This game is broken. This game is... How is this? I think at this point has to be neighborhood stories, because as I said, I wanted to play in this save file with everything turned on. So of course I have neighborhood stories on. And neighborhood stories allows adoptions, allows adoption of animals, of children, allows to get married, to get divorced, allows to change house, allows a lot of things. So I believe neighborhood stories is messing up this save file completely. And that's why everybody is related to everybody. But this is not everything, because I'm gonna go back to my manage world. Let's move into Evergreen Harbor now, because something else is happening here. So now we are at the last household, and I have to show you. So if you remember Kengo was the stepfather that used to live with Reina. They were married together. Reina had a child with him, Rebecca, and Carly was living in this household. She would constantly fight with her stepfather, Kengo, and that's also part of the reason why in my headcanon, he had the midlife crisis that later led to the divorce. As you can see here, there's Reina right here. He has a bad relationship with her. Of course, they broke up, they got divorced. And, you know, with Carly as well, he is getting a better relationship because I think his new wife, Pena, helped him with the relationship. So that's why it's not as red as it was before. But you can see that there's something happening right here. So of course we have Pena and Kengo, which, by the way, very funny that her name is very similar to Reina. Pena, Reina, you know, very funny. But they got married almost immediately after he moved into Evergreen Harbor, and now they have a child together, and the child is right here. He just was born, Jace. And they have a roommate living in this house, which is Arish. So what happened is that with Eco Lifestyle we got Naps, And one of the naps is called free love. And the free love nap means that all the Sims start fucking with each other, basically. Basically, all the influence that you gain it from flirty interactions. So everybody starts flirting with each other and they never get jealous. Which is fun, I guess. But at the same time, both of them, because both Kengo and Arush and Panya and Arush starting to have like fucking parties. One would woohoo in the bed, and then one would them leave and go in the shower to woohoo with the other. And now what happened is they are all engaged. It happened again. Again, I did not make this happen because Paina and Kengo are married, and this time it's not even a cast marriage. I thought that at first because Kirsten and Jack were married in cast, the game wasn't recognizing it, but they got married in game. I made them get married. I didn't do like a whole ceremony, I made them elope, but they are married. But they still, with the nap, they started to flirt with Aresh, and now Aresh proposed to both of them, and I could get married to both of them again. So at this point, there is something wrong with this save file. Something glitched. There has to be a bug somewhere, something that made this happen. Because of course, as you can see, this is Paina's relationship with Love. She also is in love with Morgan, who is living here right there, because sometimes she shows up and they start flirting. And same goes with Kengo. Kengo is fucking everybody basically, except for Reina, because they divorced. But he has like so many lovers. I guess he has the serial romantic aspiration, which, you know, I gave it to him, but at the same time it's because of the nap. So they're now, I could, if I click on, if I pretend to be Paina, I could get into here and elope immediately with the Resh. But if Kengo was here, which he's not right now, he could again elope immediately with the Resh, because they are all engaged. This is another throuple situation. It's crazy that it happened twice in the same save file. So what do we find out doing this? Why am I showing you this? I think there's a bug. I think this might be a bug. I think married Sims should not get a proposal from, I mean, you know, on one hand, maybe this is a way for you guys, if you are interested in that, to play with a polyamory couple. That's possible, because if you just have the other sim that you're not controlling propose to them, you can say yes and you know, even though you're married, get a proposal and then elope, and then you're married to both. So that's an option that you want if you want to do. And of course, as I happened in this household, you can get both of your sims in a relationship married to a third sim. So I guess it's a gameplay opportunity on one hand. On the other, it's clearly a bug, and I think it's the combination of the naps and the neighborhood stories, like fucking everything together. Because at this point, there's not really a reason why this is happening. And you know, the whole messed up family trees, those also I think are neighborhood stories issue. I'm telling you this because if you are playing with your family and you don't want this kind of things messing up your stories or anything, you should probably check it out. Make sure your neighborhood stories are either turned off or there is no like sharing of partner going on, because it leads to a lot of mess. And overall, I don't mind it because I like this chaotic kind of gameplay here, but I want to just see it for everybody. Just make sure neighborhood stories are turned off, or at least give them a check, give them a thorough check. And also the naps, maybe turn them off because the free love one is crazy. They all start meeting, everybody meets in this little space here in the apartment building, and they start kissing each other. They kiss each other, they change couple. It's crazy. It's so funny. I guess this is the video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.